So, moving to the introduction, food is anything that can be eatable and that which may provide carbohydrate, protein, fat, minerals, vitamins for energy metabolism and for body mass production and for the normal function of the body parts. It helps the babies, young children, and adolescents to grow at a rapid rate. It also helps the adults and elderly people to maintain their healthy state. Then the next move to the topic, first one is classification of foods. So foods can be classified into different types. So classification of food on the basis of the moisture content and shelf life. According to the moisture content and shelf life, it can be classified into three types: staple food, semi-perishable food, and perishable food. Staple food are those which have 15% or less moisture content. That means in such food items the microorganism cannot penetrate so easily. So their shelf life will be longer. It may be from 1 year to 5 years. It will include wheat, then cereals and other grains, etc. Then semi-perishable food are those food items which have 20 to 25% of moisture content. They may be easily attacked by the microorganism. Their shelf life may be from 2 to 6 months. It will include vegetables, fruits, meat, etc. Then perishable food which contain 50% moisture content. It will include milk, juices, etc. They may be get very easily spoiled by the microorganism. Then food items can also be classified in different forms. So according to the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating, food can be classified into vegetables and legumes. Legumes means pulses. Then fruits. Then dairy and alternatives. That means milk and other milk products include ghee, then curd, etc. Then meat and its alternatives. Then grains and cereals. Then according to the chemical nature, food can be classified as carbohydrates, vitamins, proteins, dietary fibers, fats, water and minerals. And according to the function in the body, that means the function which the food performs in the body, it can be classified into three types: energy giving foods, body building foods and protective foods. Energy giving foods may include carbohydrates or fats. The food which contain carbohydrate and fats, it will include chapati. Otherwise the food items which may include rice, otherwise sugar, oil, then butter, ghee, all these come under energy giving foods. Then body building foods, it may include the food items which helps in the building of the body and muscles. It will include eggs, fish, meat, milk, pulses, etc. Then protective food items are those which helps to gain immunity and also protect an individual from the diseases. It will include vitamin and minerals which may get from fruits and vegetables. Then food also can be classified on the basis of its chemical property into two types: organic and inorganic. Organic food items are those which contain the presence of element carbon, and those which doesn't contain the presence of element carbon come under inorganic food items. So according to chemical properties, organic and inorganic food. Then according to the mass in which or the quality that needed for the cells or organism can be classified into two types: macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are those which needed in a large quantity. It may include proteins, fats, etc. And micronutrients are those which required only in small quantities, that means in milligrams. It may include vitamins and minerals. And according to the origin of the food items, it can be classified into two: animal food sources and plant food sources. The food items that get from animal sources include the meat, egg, all these came under animal sources. They can be direct or indirect. That means milk and milk products. Like the direct and indirect animal sources. And plant sources include the leaves, the vegetables, the seeds, the nuts. All this came under plant food sources. Then the next topic is the food adulteration. Food adulteration is the act of intentionally debasing the quality of food offered for sale, either by admixture or substitution of inferior substances or by the removal of some valuable ingredient. So if you are removing some valuable ingredient or adding some improper items to the food, it may be called food adulteration. It can be defined as the practice of adultering food or contamination of food materials by adding few substances which are collectively called adulterants. So the food items or the items which are added to the food for adulteration is called adulterants. Adulterants are substances or poor quality products added to food items for economic and technical benefits. They may be used for increasing the economic profit and also to decrease the technical difficulties. Then addition of these adulterants reduce the value of nutrients in food and also contaminates the food which is not fit for consumption. Then there are different methods of food adulteration. It may be adding certain chemicals for the fast ripening of the fruits, then mixing decomposed vegetables and fruits with the good ones, then adding certain chemicals or natural dyes to attract the consumers, and mixing of the clay, pebbles, stones, sand and marble chips to the grains, pulses and other crops. Then cheaper and inferior substances are added wholly or partially with good ones to increase the weight and the nature of the product. Then there are certain harmful effects for food adulteration. If we add certain chemicals or certain things into the food, it may cause harmful effects. So it is an legally a wrong practice of adding bad items or adding something into the food item. So adding all these items into the food not only decreases the quality of the food, but it also may cause certain health issues, may include nutrition deficiency diseases, then kidney disorders. It also includes the failure of certain individual organ systems, including the heart, kidney, liver, etc. Then there are different types of food adulteration. It may be intentional adulteration, incidental adulteration and metallic adulteration. Intentional adulteration means the adulterants are added as a deliberate act with the intention to increase the profit. So they are added deliberately to increase the profit. It may include sand, marble chips, stones, chalk powder, etc. Then incidental adulteration means if the adulterants are added to the food items due to the negligence, that means due to lack of proper facilities. It may include packaging of hazardous like larvae of insects and droppings. All these things may be included in the packagings. Then metallic adulteration means metallic substances are added intentionally or accidentally. It may include the adding of pesticides, then lead from water, all these things. Then there are different types of harmful effects and different types of adulterants are used according to each food items. So some of them are mentioned here. So in milk and curd, the water and starch powder may be used as adulterant. It may cause stomach disorders. In ghee, cheese and butter may also add mashed potatoes. Then in grains, pebbles and stones may be added. In pulses, dyes may be added. Then in coffee powder, tamarind seed powders may be added. All these things may have certain harmful effects. It may cause diarrhea, stomach disorders, liver disorders respectively. And then in pepper, papaya seeds may be added or blueberry seeds may be added. And they also may cause allergic reactions and skin irritations. These are also some other. Then there are also certain methods for this detection. So I am mentioning only one of them, that of the milk. If in milk water is added, the presence of the water can be by putting a drop of milk on a polished slanting surface. The drop of pure milk either flows lovely, leaving a white tail behind it. It shows that whereas milk adulterated, water will flow immediately without leaving a mark. So by this method we can detect the presence of water in the milk. And in coconut oil, in the case of coconut oil, if you place it in the refrigerator, if there are separate layers are formed, it shows the presence of adulterant. Then in sugar, there may be chalk powder may be added. For this, we can also find it by dissolving 10 gram of sugar in water and allow it to settle down. If the presence of chalk powder is there, the chalk may get settled down. So all these are different types of methods by which we can detect the presence of various adulterants in the food. Then the government has put various initiatives for preventing the adulteration of food. The Prevention of Food Adulteration Act of 1954 has laid down guidelines to provide pure and wholesome food to the consumers. In India, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare is completely responsible for providing safe food to the citizens. Then moving to the next topic, foodborne diseases. A disease caused by consuming contaminated food or drink may be called foodborne disease. It may be caused by bacteria, virus, and other parasites also. The other foodborne diseases may be caused by toxins or chemicals in the contaminated food. The foodborne diseases often because of the microorganisms or the toxins that enter the food through the gastrointestinal tract, and it may causes or it may show certain symptoms. It may include from nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, diarrhea, etc. Then these are some of the common foodborne diseases caused by 3 different bacteria, that is Campylobacter, then Salmonella, E. coli, and a group of viruses called calciviruses, also known as Norvac-like viruses. In the case of Campylobacter, it is a bacterial caused disease. It may be seen in the intestine of the healthy birds. So, if these birds are consumed in the raw manner, it may cause disease to the persons who are taking this food item. It may be cause fever, diarrhea, abdominal cramps. All these will be the symptoms. It may also cause if the poultry or if a chicken is taken undercooked, or if the if a food is contaminated with the droppings from a raw chicken, it may also causes this disease. Then the next, Salmonella. This bacteria may cause disease in the intestine of the birds, reptiles, and mammals also. It also shows symptoms like fever, diarrhea, and abdominal cramps. And in the case of E. coli, it causes disorders by the cow fecus. It may include diarrhea to painful abdominal cramps. Then other one is the calciviruses. They may cause different symptoms like anemia, then profuse bleeding, and kidney failure too. Then there are different symptoms of foodborne illnesses. The common symptoms may be diarrhea and vomiting, and it may be last from 1 to 7 days. And other symptoms include abdominal cramps, then nausea, fever, joint and back aches, and fatigue also. In some people, what some people call the stomach flu, it is also actually a foodborne disease due to the contaminated food and water. Then the incubation period of a pathogen may be extended from several hours to 1 week. Then there are different foods associated with the foodborne illnesses. It may include the raw foods of animal origin, that may be the raw meat or the raw eggs, or the unpasteurized milk, that means milk which is not sterilized or which doesn't undergo heat treatment, or it is not safe for consumption. Then the fruits and vegetables which are contaminated by the animal waste, which is used as a manure for fertilizing in the field. Then the raw sprouts are particularly concerning because of the concerns under they are sprouted. It may also cause growing of microbes in that raw sprouts. Then other foods include the unpasteurized fruit juices, and also it will also include it also cause people's vomiting, diarrhea in some cases. And the uncooked salads and some vegetables may also, or fruits may also cause certain problems for certain people. These are my references. So I think that both the 3 of the topics are clear to you. Thank you.